Hey everyone, I've just put together a little instructional video demonstrating how to use kettlebells. Those of you that have been to the last 2 fitness workshops that I've done will have noticed that we have used kettlebells quite a bit for certain exercises. I find that they're quite a useful tool in helping develop a lot of general capabilities that have a decent functional carryover to martial arts and other types of sport. Because of their design, specifically the fact that the weight that you're manipulating is slightly away from the handle that you're holding, which is dissimilar to barbells and dumbbells, I find that they are good for developing a general physical preparedness. And the variety of movements that you can do with a kettlebell are quite fun and quite challenging, and they can help you regulate breathing and practice specific skills such as explosiveness and stability. The exercise that I'm doing here is called the kettlebell swing. I've been doing variations with 2 hands and 1 hand so that you can see the variety of things that you can do. This is a hip hinging power based technique where you use mostly your glutes and hamstrings. In this video I've demonstrated every exercise using 3 different kettlebell weights, the 3 that I own, and 3 common weights that are used, which are 16 kilograms, 20 and 24 kilograms. This next exercise is called a clean, where you use the momentum of the swing to get the kettlebell into what's called the racked position. If you pull this from the ground, then that's called a power clean. Watching this video back, I can actually see that my technique on my cleans isn't the best, and it's something I can definitely work on. But the main aim is to not fling the kettlebell from away into your body so that it hurts. You're supposed to be maneuvering it around you and yourself around it. Next up we have the deadlift, which is another fantastic exercise, using similar muscles to the swing, but this is more of a grinding movement rather than a ballistic movement. You're again using very much your glutes, your hamstrings, you're strengthening your lower back, and you're pulling your shoulders down and back so that your lats are engaged, stabilizing your back through the movement. You really want to do your best not to round your back and to keep it straight so that you're as safe and stable as you possibly can be. Just like before, I'm demonstrating with double-handed and single-handed techniques. Next up we have the kettlebell row. You set up as though you're about to do a single-handed deadlift, and you pull the weight towards your torso, leading with the elbow so that you use more of your back than your bicep, although your bicep is still engaged in the exercise. Here we have what's called a high pull, where you use again the momentum of a swing and you bring up the kettlebell quite high and you pull back. It might seem like a bizarre technique that needs more explanation, but it somewhat takes care of itself in that way. You pull up your arm so it's about shoulder height, and then you pull back and your shoulder fits into the socket as it's supposed to. And it's a technique that uses muscles of the upper back, including the trapezius, and the back of your shoulder, your rear deltoids. Now I'm going to show you 3 different types of kettlebell overhead press. Pressing a weight above your head has always been a feat of strength and something that you can use to be proud of or show off. It's actually quite a difficult exercise, and the weights that kettlebells are available in make it quite a difficult thing to do. It's definitely a good exercise to do if you want to increase your upper body strength. This first variation is called a strict press, as we're not using any of our lower body to help assist in the movement. For the second variation, we have a push press. This is an exercise that is essentially the same as a strict press, but you're using momentum from your legs with a single dip at the knees to help push up the weight. With a push press, you can do a lot more weight than you can with a strict press. And finally, we have what's called a jerk. It's essentially the same as a push press, but as the weight approaches the top, you do a second dip to get underneath kettlebell. A jerk is a whole body explosive technique, and it's the type of press that you should be able to achieve the most weight doing. Here we have what's called a snatch. This starts off as a swing, transitioning into a high pull, and you essentially press upwards at the very end, maneuvering your arm around the kettlebell until the kettlebell rests on the back of your forearm. This is a fairly complicated technique, and it would really require its own instructional video, but it's worth learning because it feels great and it involves a lot of whole body athleticism. So those are some of the main kettlebell exercises. Here I'm going to demonstrate just a couple of extra exercises that you can throw in if you plan on doing a circuit. They help with grip strength, core strength, stability, and they're a bit of fun. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care and I'll see you all soon.